Good afternoon, everyone. It's January the 24th, 2025. I've been getting quite a response to the drug bust that Toronto just made on my last video. So I wanted to add a little bit more to it, and I was going to start today by a comment that a viewer sent in and my comment back to him. And this is his comment. I'm pretty sure that what they caught was just a drop in the bucket compared to what gets through. And then my response was, thank you for your comment. This bust may only be a drop in the bucket. However, every large drop in the bucket puts a nice fist punch, and every dent counts in the war on drugs. People who are doing this will still feel it where it counts. You take care too. So people are saying yes, up to a point. It's been a long, hard haul. It seems like we've been getting it sometimes into the millions. Like this is really in the millions, $83 million. This is certainly, I think, one of the largest busts we've had in our history here of Canada. And I just want to add on a little bit of what I was saying before that about the super labs that we've one in the prairies and two of them that were in BC, and one of the labs in BC they associated with one of the cartels from Mexico. So there wasn't much said about it at the time other than that. So when you look at this video that has just come out with the $83 million, it clearly states the cartel which was involved. We've had 2 Canadians arrested when they got across the border. 2 Mexican citizens were arrested. They've put out pictures of 2 more Canadians that are possibly in Mexico, and another Canadian at large, probably here in Canada somewhere. So it's giving the impression now and the idea of what's transpiring, that this particular, part of the shipment was already here. The other part came up from the Mexican border, through the Mexican border. How it got through, that's the question. That's for the states to try and figure out how that shipment got through, and then all the way up into Canada. But fortunately, it was caught at our border, and I believe it was also, I think the Americans are possibly watching what was going on as well and letting us know when they did cross into Canada, and that's why our authorities swooped in and took them definitely on our side of the border. And from what they were saying on this, that this has been an ongoing investigation since August of 2024. So we were starting to see the pattern. We've become aware, and the government certainly become aware after the pandemic as well, that our borders are being more threatened than ever before, and they were trying to figure out a way of stepping up the border security on our side, as well as working with the Americans on the American side of the border with their counterparts there for the border security as well. And then I also saw I don't know what's happened there, it hasn't come out, but last few days a border security patrol officer was killed just on the American side of the border with Canada as well. So what we're seeing now is a cartel trying to expand, and this is what I believe, that they're trying to get out of Mexico. They may be expanding into the States, for all I know at this point, but it seems to be to their advantage that they're trying to come into Canada. And now we're aware of what's going on, and with the new political environment down in the States now being ripped apart the way it is, it's even more important that we should be working together, not being threatening with tariffs, and because we're not protecting our borders enough. With the Biden administration, everything was becoming much better, much clearer, because of the fact that I know, having worked security myself, that the more we work together as security agencies, the better the security is going to be. So information, I'm sure, behind the scenes is being passed back and forth in a good way. Now, because of the threats, yes, we had to step it up very quickly, but plans, I know I'm positive plans were in the works, because we were starting to see what was happening on this side of the border. But everything costs money. Money, money, money. And again, coming out of the pandemic, trying to get affordable housing. We have so many problems coming out of the pandemic. And again, I can't reintegrate enough just how we're only like about 41 million people here in Canada. We're the millions of people, like what are you, 350,000, 500,000, million people in the States. You have a much larger population than we do, so money is a lot easier to flow to deal with things. So this is why we have to deal with the Army, trying to get updated equipment, which is lagging for years. And again, every time our political scene changes up here, what happens? Something gets canceled. And contracts get canceled. Military contracts, as I said before, during the Harper government came in and canceled the liberal government contracts for, as I said, for ships and things. And it's been the liberal government in the last three terms under Trudeau that has managed to get us some modern ships, as I said in other videos, and that coming in. So we are doing the best we can, even with NATO and the fact that we haven't made that 2% there. We're working on it, and they understood that. Everybody was trying, because the pandemic has thrown the world into total chaos right now. And as I said, it's going to take a while to get out of this chaos. But as for the borders, they are being stepped up. I can see it being stepped up. But the other thing I just saw today on the news was that another 6 people, migrants, tried to enter Canada. They got across our border. Fortunately, it was a good thing that the Border Patrol did catch them, because again, this is where the area was that I talked about, that family in 2022 froze to death. And again, we're in the middle of winter. They were not even dressed for winter. They could have perished again very easily. So they were just lucky that our Border Patrol picked them up and made sure that they got the right medical attention that they needed. But with this immigration policy in the States, we're going to see more migrants trying to flee over our borders. And how many more people are going to freeze to death? This is not the time of year to send people over a border to freeze to death either. So we're in a world that we've never seen before. And as like I said, it was like before the pandemic, I felt like I was kind of Alice in Wonderland, where I'm being Alice, going through the mirror, and the mirror, of course, being the pandemic. And as I stepped into the Wonderland out from the mirror, this was not the kind of Wonderland I expected to see, is the chaos that we're in today. It's not this beautiful green space where everybody's happy. That's for sure. And I understand we all want change, but we have to be very, very careful how we do this change. But I wanted to put this up today and said, the best thing we can do is work together. And that's the way that America and Canada always work together, as neighbors. And we work together in such a way that our economies are so integrated into one another, because we have family, we have friends, and people on both sides of the border. So it's so terribly important, and we're all being ripped apart, and that's not right. It shouldn't be. We all have to stand up for each other and protect each other, because it does not look very good for the next few years, for certain. And who knows what's going to happen after the next 4 years. And as for us here in Canada, we definitely have the problem. We're still sorting out our political problems right now. We still aren't sure just exactly who the next Prime Minister is going to be. We have the election coming up that way. We have another provincial election coming up. It's looks like it's going to be called next Wednesday, and we'll be going to the polls for that for the 27th of February as well. So it was just that we have a president in the States that decided to take advantage of all this confusion that we're having up here. But when we vote here, we need to be extremely careful and not follow the way the States went. So we need to listen to our leaders, and leaders that cannot tell you what they're going to do. And in some cases, they're so deceptive because, oh yeah, there are all these promises. Oh, yeah, Trump sure promised a lot of things, and a lot of people are realizing that they did the wrong thing. So I hope our people up here in Canada have enough sense to look at what's being said in the next over the next several months for sure of this year. And this is going to be a very, very important year, 2025, for the world, because the world is also looking at this. And I think I wanted to say one more thing, that one of our people who analyzes the political atmosphere to what's going on all over the world and that was saying with Canada too, and I kind of agree with them, the way that the tariffs are being threatened on both Mexico and Canada, that perhaps Canada, when we got our political situation settled out, needs to make some kind of arrangement and go talk with the Mexican government, with the president down there, and see if together we can work as well on both in Mexico and Canada, and we can come together and help put an agreement towards a free trade agreement, and put this bully in his place. That's all I have to say today. So everyone, take care, have a great day, be safe, and we shall talk again soon. Bye-bye.